You know, I can't remember the last time when a movie was so hyped to the point that I had to drop all my plans to run to the cinema just to watch it. From the reviews online, I thought this movie would be the most unbelievable work of art that breaks the mold of storytelling, while revolutionizing the horror genre in ways that we hadn't seen before. Well, it was sort of that, and it was sort of not that at the same time, so let's get into it. For years I've been emphasizing the importance of music in movies, how an amazing musical score can significantly elevate a movie. It shouldn't just be background dressing, it should be brought to the forefront. It should drive the story, it should be a character in itself. It should give you goosebumps in the big moments, and Sinners is one of the best examples of this. And aside from the music, I could tell I was watching high quality filmmaking within the first 5 minutes. The directing, the camera work, the editing and the sound design are just pristine. The entire cast actually does a really great job, and the acting is superb. And Michael B. Jordan really shines here, his acting chops are on full display. Sinners is also surprisingly quite funny, without taking away from the seriousness. And the horror elements are what? Well, they're mostly satisfying, but we'll get into that in a bit. But overall, this movie goes hard, so let's talk about what made it great and what made it not so great. Sinners impresses early with its stunning cinematography and solid performances. The film sets a moody, atmospheric tone and builds tension with a deliberate, slow burn approach that hints at something truly impactful. Unfortunately, that promise is never really quite fulfilled. When the vampires finally appear, it's great, but then the film takes a sharp downturn. Their behaviour is nonsensical, lacking any real menace or intelligence, and they end up feeling more like a parody than a threat, especially in the end, where hundreds of them couldn't take down 3 main characters. It's a baffling creative choice that undermines everything the first half of the movie works so hard to build. I love it when movies can mix genres and create a fresh spin on old themes. This movie is exceptional at that. However, the many themes this film is trying to juggle didn't always mix well in my opinion. I would describe Sinners as a mix between a period gangster drama and a musical which slowly degrades into a trashy B-grade horror movie, the likes of which we hadn't seen since the 2000s, and it did have that nostalgic feel lingering all over it the entire time. I feel like the movie tries to do everything at the same time but doesn't deliver on many of these aspects. It wants to hit the viewer on an emotional level but leaves you more confused than anything. The movie kinda wants to be scary, but the vampires lose their fear factor quite quickly, and it takes away from all the tension. The fight scenes are kinda boring and strangely edited. Like, how the hell did hundreds of flesh-eating vampires struggle with taking down like 4 people? And why did they all just run away and give up? What's obvious is that the ending was rushed and the slow burn payoff didn't feel worth it in the end. The first half of Sinners is rich with character development and cultural depth. The realism is brilliant, from the Mississippi-Chicago connection to the incredible blues subplot that brings soul and authenticity to the story. The party scene alone is a masterclass in filmmaking, brimming with energy, culture and community, the likes of which would even make Spike Lee happy. The horror elements, particularly the vampire twists, are expertly woven in. Much like From Dusk Till Dawn, the film shifts gears midway through, transforming into something else entirely different. If you went into this film blind like I did, it was a much welcome and energizing change. The sudden shift from race drama to horror was amazing to witness, but unlike From Dusk Till Dawn, which leans into fun chaos, Sinners pulls the themes back together with real emotion and narrative depth. The horror doesn't overwhelm, it enhances. The film seems like it's building to a final act that ties both worlds together in a meaningful, thought-provoking way, but it just kind of doesn't, and so many unanswered questions are left. About 2/3 into the movie, things start to slip, and by the time the ending rolled around, it was clear they had either run out of time, budget, or energy, probably all 3. The final act felt completely rushed. It was like they just wanted to wrap things up as fast as possible. There was barely any payoff for all the build-up we got earlier. Big questions were left unanswered, and moments that should have hit hard just kind of didn't. The ending felt lazy, not in a we didn't care at all kind of way, but more like we didn't plan this part out properly. You could see the difference in effort, the quality dropped, the pacing sped up too much, and the characters that had been developed earlier were suddenly just background noise. It honestly felt like a different movie by the time it ended, and not in a good way. It's frustrating, because the film had the potential to be a great movie. The opening made me think I was watching one of the best films of the year, but a great start doesn't matter if you don't finish strong. And this film just didn't. I mean, it was okay, it wasn't too bad, and maybe not be too critical. And with all that being said, I'm not saying don't watch it, there's still a lot to like here, especially the first half. If you're into movies with strong direction, nice visuals and gripping start, you'll probably enjoy most of it. But if you're the type who needs a solid, satisfying ending to feel like it was worth your time, this one might leave you a little bit disappointed. It blends genres well, and in ways we haven't seen before, and that is the treat in itself and makes it worth a watch. But the fact that the vampires didn't seem menacing at all by the final act had me feeling a little let down. Moreover, the pivotal sequence where the vampires finally raid the saloon was just head-scratchingly stupid and I can't get over it, and the villains often went from menacing monsters to comedic parodies. P.S. The post-credit scene was one of the best parts of the movie, so don't miss it. Overall, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10.